Welcome back to Starfish Sea Fishing. Today we're going to be making the up and over rig, my version of it. It's another distance rig using the Trident tackle hangover components. When it hits the ground, it releases like so. It's a great rig for keeping a bait nailed to the floor. I use it primarily for smooth hounds and thornback rays at distance. So we're going to get straight into the components after the short intro. I'd like to say I thank everybody that subscribed recently as well. I really appreciate that. Let's a short intro. Let's get straight into the components and get the rig made. Right, so the components needed to make this rig is a Thermalink, a roto clip. I think I've got 6 beads, 4 crimps, a snud swivel, a top swivel, an SRT spring, Trident hangover clip, 2 hooks, silicone rig tubing and a lead. So we'll get on now, start getting the rig body together. So for the main rig body I'm going to be using Rovex £80. And for the snud lines on this video I'm going to be using Amnesia £30. So I'm targeting small head rays during the week. So £30 line will do me, but whatever species you're targeting, obviously change your snud line to suit and your hooks. So the first component, we're going to put the lead clip on for the lead. Roto clip Thermalink is what I'm going to be using today. Either you can use a Gemini splashdown clip or an imp if you prefer. I prefer these for smaller hooks. I have had trouble with these releasing, although I do actually like them. I actually favour the Roto clip over the Gemini splashdown clip. Imps are okay, but again, sometimes you have a problem with releasing, but it's up to you what you're going to use. This video, Thermoclip, Roto clip, that's what we're going to be using. So let's get the first part attached to the line. The first component's going to fit the Thermalink. I'm going to use £80 rig body on this line. I'll just grab some of that now. Pass it through the hole. My knots, I just come up 3 times. 1, 2, 3, through the loop. I come up again. 1, 2, 3. Pull the tag end tight. Wet it. Pull the line down. Then just tighten the tag up. There you go. Cut the tag off. Take the roto clip. The roto clip, you just pull the wire down, attach the lead, push it back down, attach the Thermalink. That's the first part of the rig done. So the length of the rig body I'm going to be using today is from the tip of my nose to my arm. That gives me a good length of main body. We'll cut that off and we'll get the first components on this now. So the first component's going to be a rig crimp. So we're going to take that crimp, slide it down the line. We're going to take a bead, slide that down the line. Stud swivel, another bead, and a rig crimp. I'm going to slide all that down to the bottom of the rig. So we've got our first components. I tend to crimp these about an inch up from the bottom. Now with the Thermalink, that gives me a 2 inches away from where the rig's clipped itself, the hooks are clipped. So we'll get that crimped up now where I want it. It's about an inch up the top. We'll crimp that tight. And we'll crimp that tight. Now we'll get onto the top components. So with the top part of the rig, we slide on a crimp. We slide on a bead. We slide on an SRT spring. We slide on another bead. Now I'm using these now, I'll show you what they are. These Trident hangover clips here. I think these are absolutely excellent. What we used to use for this rig were these cascade swivels, and what we used to do, I'll show you the way we used to do this. Go through the front of the cascade swivel on the larger half, and then through the top hole of the cascade swivel. And then we used to slide that down onto these components like so. That's the way we used to do this rig. But to be honest, since this has come out, I find that releases a lot more than what this does. So the cascade swivel's now gone and been replaced with something that's been long waited for. So you go through the smallest end of the hangover clip and slide that down like so. You place another bead on the top and one more rig crimp. So what you've got now is something like that. So we don't tighten this up yet, we just push this down, put it out the way, tie the top of the top swivel onto the rig. Right, so we'll tie the top swivel onto the rig body. Same knot as we've used before. About 4 inches of tag, come up, 1, 2, 3, through the loop, back up 3 times, 1, 2, 3, pull it tight, wet it, cut the tag off. So I use swivels on the top of my rigs. What I would suggest is, on your reels, I use these now, the Thermalinks. I think they're really good. I'd either use a Thermalink or a small oval loop leg clip. What I wouldn't put on the end of my shock leader is these leg clips. You get a line snag, these things will just pick every line snag up you can find like that so easily, and you'll get snagged up all the time or pull someone else's line in. When the leg clip faces that way, I just wouldn't use them. I just put them straight into the bin. So now we've got these components all together. So we're going to attach the bottom snud line now. So with the snud line I'm going to be using £30 Amnesia. Again, just the same knot as I'm using for every one. Just up 1, 2, 3. Back through. 1, 2, 3. Pull the tag end. Wet it. Pull it tight. There you go. Cut the tag off. Now the length of snud line is completely up to you, but if I'm fishing for hounds or rays, I'll show you what length I use. So with hounds and rays are concerned, especially rays, you want quite a long snud line for a ray. You know, a ray's quite large, it's got to sit on top of the bait. So I use the length of my arm as the snud line. That gives me about that much length. So I'll cut that off now. And what I'll do with my snud line is, I'll take a little bit of silicone tubing, about 5mm. Just cut that off like so. Pass that through the silicone tubing. Back through exactly the same way. Pull it tight, wet it, and pull the end of the tab. Now you've got a movable stop knot. Very easy to do. But what I'll do with that is I'll put another bead on top of that. And there you go, I've got a movable stop knot now. So we'll get the hooks on. So these particular rigs are going to be used for thornback rays. So what I'm going to do is I've got a size sort of 2.0 on the front and a size 1.0 chenille hook on the back. So I'm going to put the chenille hook on like so. So it goes through the front of the hook. So it faces backwards. And then I'm going to tie the main hook on the front, just using the same knot as I used before. Come up 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Back through the loop. Up again. 1, 2, 3. Pull the tag end tight. Wet it. Slide the knot down. Give the tag a little tighten up. Cut the tag off. So your rig looks like that. So you might think that's wrong with the hook being backwards and that hook facing forwards. But when you wrap it around the hook, so the way I would secure that is with a big sandale and squib bait or something like that. I think this is going to have a double sandale targeting small-eyed rays, so I don't need a massive bait. When you come round the hook, 1, 2, 3 times and pull it tight. See the way the line is over the top of the hook there? That's going to help you with your hookups, believe it or not. And it will sit much better, your bait's in the water as well. Right, so we'll get this hooked up now. So the first hook goes into your roto clip. We close that up, lock it up. We hold the snud line and the main body line. So we get a loop like so, keeping it in your finger at the time. We then take all the components you had at the top that are still loose, slide them down to the bottom. We'll hold the leather between my feet, take the loop in one hand and the rig body. Bring the hangover clip up, clip it into the loop. Just keep hold of that, follow it back down. You've got to bring all the components up like so. And you've got to bring just enough tension up onto the spring and hold the crimp and the main body tight and let go of everything. And that crimp's now in the right place where you want it. So then crimp that crimp. And now when you bring the loop up, place it in the hangover clip. It's where you want it now. So we'll just get onto the top components, do the last crimp at the top, do that on the desk. So the last part of this rig is just setting the top crimp here. So just like the loop rig, you just take it gently, bring some tension up on it, not a lot, just enough, and crimp it tight. And then that now acts as a spring, which will help release the stud line when it hits the water. So that's it, we'll clip that together now. Put the hook into the roto clip, tighten that up, take the loop and the main body, and what we do is separate the loop, clip the loop onto the hangover clip. So you can see how much tension you need in that clip there. So as soon as it hits the water, that helps release the stud line. Simple. Right, so that's it, the up and over rig. Clip it in one more time. When these things are made, they're really easy and really quick to set up. They're really quick. It's just making them a bit tricky. You want to make sure all the tension's on the main line as well and not the snud line on this, so you don't have the snud line at all bowed. Great distance casting rig. So as soon as it hits the water, bang, it releases every single time. No issues at all. It keeps your bait nailed to the seafloor, unlike a pennel pulley used for rough ground, which is up and down like so. This will target thornback rays, smooth ounce, anything that feeds on the bottom at distance. This is a great rig to use. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any comments, any questions, please drop them in the box. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you again.